Windows 10 21H2 update. It's coming in winter 2021. It's some of these features have been released in this previous version, not this version, but the previous one, the one that we're currently on. And so, what do you think about all these features on this 21H2 update coming winter 21? What do you think of all these features so far? Like, without looking at the article, with all that stuff, what do you think about like all these updates are coming up?
Well, I think it's cool, and I think that Microsoft really owed it to us, because I think that, again, I've complained about some of the changes they've done. Right, I've harped on this over and over again. I don't like the new I don't like the new troubleshooting. The AI keeps spinning its wheels trying to have a conversation with me, where the old AI, whatever they used, didn't have a conversation with me and solve my problem within like 1 minute of troubleshooting, right? Like, it was mostly audio problems, like I actually had something muted, or I had something, plugged in as some other like default device, and Windows would also change it it would reset everything within 30 seconds, and I have my audio back. But now it wants to have a conversation for like 5 minutes, and it says, "Hey, did I fix it?" And I'm like, "No." "How about now?" "No, you didn't fix it." It's like, oh my gosh, why did they do this system that doesn't work, and it keeps asking me questions? And just, so, what's cool about this is there's a whole bunch of features that are coming out that I didn't even know existed, and Microsoft's trying to do a better job of actually showing you when the updates happen, like a more concise grouping of like what actually this update is, to show you, like, because right now they just like kind of like buried everything. It's all like this, like it's kind of like if you ever play like a game like League of Legends, there's like all these patch notes, and it shows you like, oh, this has been updated, whatever, blah 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 blah. Right now they're trying to really like make it glossy, I guess, and like show you exactly what you can do.
Yeah,
they needed more marketing.
Yeah, definitely. So let's go ahead and get into some of the features, Joe.
Sure.
So, like, the number one feature is weather and news on the taskbar. Do you think that's gonna benefit people? Because I think it might be good, because it instead of us actually going to like weather.com, or Weather Underground, our individual apps on our phones, looking at it, we have it right directly on their device. So what do you think of this? In your opinion, would you think you use it as well or not?
Well, I'm actually looking at it right now. I clicked on Windows and I see it there. It spins, it spins like a cube. It spins up and down, and it shows me the temperature in my area. And then it can show me like a 2 or 3 day forecast. I personally like the details that I can see on Google, like it shows me the high and the low, right? And it says like, okay, cloudy, right, for the next 3 days. But I do like to see, like, I don't know. If I'm looking at the weather, I want to know more information, because I'm just so inquisical. I want to know what the wind, like the wind mile per hour, and like when I just type in like my city and then the temperature, like TEMP, I can get so much information. So it's not enough information for me, but I'm not against it though, because somebody might not really know about Google ability to be able to show you temperature, and so this might cater to a group of people who aren't that tech savvy and want to know the weather. It's just right there, and that's all they need to know is the high and the low, and whether it's gonna be cloudy or sunny.
Yep, definitely.
So I'm not against it. It's cool, but it's just not for me.
Yeah, definitely. And
I'll always be using Google.
Definitely. And the next thing we're covering is the DNS over HTTPS and the DNS configuration in the system in the settings app. What do you think about this encryption? Do you know anything about DNS?
No, not really.
It's a dynamic name. It's a dynamic name. I forgot what that S was. Service. It's a domain name service. It converts IP to names and stuff like that over secure things, over a secure browser. And that's pretty much it. But I don't know too much about this feature. It's system-wide for all Windows applications. In the current version of Windows 10, only a few web browsers like the Google Chrome Microsoft Edge and Firefox support this. Once system-wide support is finished, all Windows applications will get the benefit of DOH without any modifications. So that's not too bad, man. It's actually a pretty good feature that it's gonna have now. A lot more applications are gonna be more secure on it.
No, it's definitely something I'm gonna look into because I'm always always want more security, and I don't like I'm against people who try to like steal my information on the internet. So I'm gonna look into this. So it's something that you can do on your own system, and the level of encryption.
It's a automatic system on it on the browsers.
So this is happening without you having to go in and do anything.
Correct. That's what it's stated here.
But you have to enable it.
I think so. I think you have to go in there to prefer DNS 1.1, whatever it is, and then select encrypted only DNS. I gotta check it. I gotta check.
Yeah, it has options where you can do only encrypted, non-encrypted, or preferred. So that's kind of cool. I'll have to look into that. See if there's any applications that I'd like to use that.
Yeah, I think once you enable that, it enables it for everything. If I'm correct.
Yeah.
I have to look into this further. Right now, I don't want to do it because I don't want to mess up my connection with this whole stream.
But yeah, it sounds really cool. It sounds like Microsoft's giving us more options here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is. It's more secure features. And also, to the next feature is the startup app notifications. What do you think? Do you think that's going to be a good thing, Joe? Like, we're going to be getting notified for our startup apps? What do you? Is this a good or bad thing, Joe?
I think it's good for those who don't know about it, because then it allows things always popping up, and I don't know how to get rid of it. And some other people are able to dig deeper and like, oh yeah, if you do Control-Alt-Delete, you get your task manager up, and then you go in, you find out where you can turn off whether apps start up or not. But some people aren't, they don't know about Control-Delete, or they just don't want to they don't want to dig in. And so yeah, I'm not opposed to this. I just I think if they allow you to turn off this feature, then it's totally cool.
Yeah, just give you a heads
maybe
up.
If I just click those three dots, maybe I can turn this update feature off, and I can just use Control-Delete.
Correct. And also, guys, just give you a heads up, if you want to actually turn off startup applications, according to our instructions, is you go to Settings, Apps, and Startup, and you'll see you'll see all your startup applications. Just let me repeat that again to you guys. You right click on the Start menu on the far left on the bottom, click Settings. Yeah, once you click on Settings, you'll actually pop up in the Settings tab. Then you click on Apps, and then you have all your and then click on the left side under the apps, under the Find a Settings. You click on Startup, and then there you go, guys. You have all your startup applications there. You could if they're blue, they're on. If they're white, they're off. I'll just give you a heads up, guys.
Yeah, I currently have all mine off except for Windows security notification icon. Which ones would you recommend keeping on?
Well, it depends on person to person.
Are there any for security that you want to keep on? Like, let's say you have a Norton security, you want to keep that as a startup or something, or in case your kid goes on the computer when
Yeah, you can. It's all up to. It's just depending on what applications. You have to find what's the best for the computer, because everybody's computer is built differently. Like me, I use Cortana a lot. I use Ear Trumpet. I use Program. I don't know what Program is. Scan to PC activation app. I could probably turn that off because I don't need it. I could turn off Skype because I really don't need Skype to be turning on. Every single time. But that's all I would recommend. And everybody's, like I said, everybody's computer is different. Some people might want to use Adobe Reader. Some people have Photoshop. Some people have certain applications they need to be running all the time. I've been doing IT for 13 years. I've seen numerous types of apps that need to be running in the background. You got to be careful what you turn off, because if you turn off something shouldn't be turned off, you're going to have issues on your application that you use. So you have to know what's being turned off. I mean, like I said, I've been doing IT for 13 years, and I've made mistakes.
Yeah, so I don't know, Renee. I'm treading on thin ice. I have everything turned off on my startup.
Well, if you're not having issues, then you're good. That's the one thing. That's the one thing you got to remember. You got
I just
issues,
get
then
yeah, I
something's wrong
get
with
sick
you.
of you see like one or two things, and you're like, you just don't get around to doing it, and
Yeah,
then eventually you
correct.
turn it off on your startup, and you're like, okay, yeah, now we're back to a good. It's clean.
And oh, hold on real quick. And we got Zopax here. He stated and on Windows and only VPN.
I'm wondering if he like there's some startup for VPN.
I'm pretty sure, or
I
he's
know
probably
some
talking about.
browsers do VPN, or if he has like a software that's VPN.
He's also probably could be talking about the DNS, changing the DNS to a VPN server and
Oh
rerouting
yeah,
it.
oh yeah, for the
That
security.
too. So that's a pretty good idea. Not too bad. But let's going on to the next topic, Joe. We have a redesigned emoji picker. I know you were explaining to me this a little while ago. The emoji
Yeah,
picker. You were like so excited.
I
Come
was
on,
like,
Joe. Tell us more about this.
well, I was like, dude, it's on the computer. Like, this is stuff that I see for like vidIQ. That when you download vidIQ and install it on your browser, you can use this on YouTube. You can use all these emojis, but now you can use these emojis in whatever other format you want to use them. If you want to use them in probably emails or something, I want to test this out. If you want to use them in emails or you want to use them in other things, so what you do is you click your Windows button, and then you hold it down, and you hold down the period button, and then this emoji bar pops up, and it's got so many different emojis. It's got people's faces. It's got characters, and so many things like vehicles and symbols and food. And you can even it has a search bar. You can search for things. And then
Yep.
Renee, we found out what was the difference between you and me.
Well, on my computer, I could actually see that option like on the like actually if I click on the like a empty like a box for like if I'm typing and I click on that and I could actually show I could when I click on it I could actually see all the messages all like the little emoji icons, and when I click on the emoji icons I could click each one and I could see all my all whatever I'm clicking on, but Joe cannot see his. He clicks on it and it doesn't.
Well, and it was actually for it was for StreamYard, right? For StreamYard, I'd had to close the emoji box and then I could see and it pops up. But as we're talking, I just put this into my web browser URL, and when I click once, it pops up. So it just for some reason, I have no idea, maybe because I have 3 monitors up or something, but there was something going on where only when I closed it and then I saw like, oh my gosh, I have like 30 emojis that I put in there. But it's cool. It's awesome. You can put them into your I'm gonna try that while we're talking about see if I can. I'm gonna start writing an email and I'm gonna see if I can put these emojis into an email. But it's gosh, I gotta show my dad this too, because that'll be just so much. It's so much color to your messages,
Yeah, definitely.
And you can use this in Discord, and I mean Discord already has some, but like this is maybe there's some in here that aren't using Discord.
Correct, definitely. Also, to the next thing is now you can actually paste as plain text in clipboard history. What do you think that's a good idea, Joe, or not?
I'm sorry, I was distracted. Sorry, I was able to put it in my email, so that's pretty cool, guys. You can put it in your email.
That's cool.
Go on.
Paste as plain text in clipboard history. I've never used the clipboard history. Have you?
The clipboard history, like sometimes you copy something to clipboard. Like usually it's for me, it's like passwords or it's like URLs. Like it's like a YouTube video, a URL. I don't know how to do it. In the way they're doing it here though.
I just looked into my clipboard history and it was off. You hit the Windows button. You hit the Windows button.
How did you access the clipboard? Yeah, where?
You hit the Windows button and the letter V at the letter V is in Victor at the same time, and the clip it pops up. Clipboard history.
Wow. So is that basically like my copy and paste?
Yeah.
I'm wondering, anything I've like copied.
Yeah, definitely.
And like all my screenshots that I've used like snipping tool.
Interesting.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, no, you can go in there. You can see like everything. Like, okay, so it shows you 1, 2, 3, 4, the last 5. Maybe it's based on like if you turn your computer off and on again, it can only store like if you turn it off and on again, it resets it, or maybe it has a maximum of 5.
Maybe.
But guys, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Next one is we got the Windows voice typing replaces Windows dictation. Do you think you would use that, Joe? Because I really don't think I would. I don't trust much of voice typing because of all the errors that still are out there.
I've always wanted to something like this, you know, for like subtitles and what's it called? You know, oh, can't think of the moment. You know, if you're trying to like teleprompter kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'll have to try it out. So, what is the one you have to do? You do Windows plus H. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm right now as I'm talking, I can see it typing for me in the URL, and it's so far been 100% accurate.
Really?
Yeah, so I think it's really good now.
Oh, that's gonna be cool.
So
maybe we could do our captions now on YouTube here using this program while we're actually podcasting next time.
Yeah, so instead of paving, what is it? I can't remember the name right now. Rev.com or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, you still have to time it and everything. But it's really cool though, because it's, you know, basically, wow, it's actually really good. Because usually it was really hard to find this. You had to go into like Google Docs to find, you know, voice to text. And it wasn't the best because you know what it did? It actually shut off after a certain time. And I'll have to test it after the podcast, but I think this one just keeps going. I think it doesn't stop.
Interesting.
You know, Renee? I think the other one, the problem is it was like after like, I don't know, 5 or 10 seconds or something, it would just stop because you stopped talking. And this one is like smart enough, or it's on your own system. It's not on Google system, right? So it's not like taking up Google bandwidth. So it's your own bandwidth of your computer, right? So it shouldn't have a limit. It shouldn't have a statute of limitations. You should be able to like not talk for like 2 minutes as you're thinking about an idea, and then begin talking again, and it starts. You know, basically, it's to make it so everybody can write their own books.
Correct.
Period.
And that's a brilliant idea, guys.
And it actually did that. When I said period, it made a period.
Really?
At first, it wrote the word out, and then it turned it into the period.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool.
Well, let's go on to the next one. Is we have storage health monitoring. What do you think that's a great feature, Joe? Because I think that is a brilliant idea for the storage device, and it lets you know about the risk failures, and it requires attention. You know, it does all that. What do you think on that, Joe?
I think it's cool. I guess, you know, I don't know. I have to play with it more, but yeah, it's cool. I mean, why not, right? Why not have more information? You know, maybe it might be a marketing thing for some people, thinking like you got to upgrade or whatever, but for other people, it might actually, you know, if they actually know what they're actually seeing, it might actually be like a helpful warning.
Yeah, like a hardware failure or memory failure coming in the future or something like that could be happening, or an error, some kind of error. Who knows what kind of error?
Yeah, you know what I would like more though, and maybe you know more about this. You know, if you go into like your computer and you're trying to figure out like which files you want to delete because like your computer's overrun and doesn't have much files left. You know, like my file space doesn't have much space.
Yeah.
When I go into local disk and I see all the different files, it doesn't say how big the file size are.
Interesting.
You know? And so for me personally, it would be more beneficial if Microsoft would make it easier for noobs to see how big their file sizes are and figure out which ones they want to delete and everything, than to show me whether my disk drive is about to fail or something. Which I understand. I understand it's super important for people, you know, like if they have really important information, like family photos or security or something. But I need to know what my 500 gigabyte drive is running out of space, and I can delete a lot of stuff, but I need to know where it is.
Correct. And besides that, going to the next one real quick, we actually have disk management settings. What do you think of that, Joe? I think this is a whole brand new feature, new layout. Oh, what do you think of that?
I guess I don't. I don't know. I guess I don't understand it actually. Sorry.
Oh man, it's cool, man. Because I had to use this several times just to find out information about the hard disk management, and because just to find out information about the disk space, all that stuff that you need. And what else does it tell you? Storage, and then manage. Where go?
Oh yeah, I did
Sorry.
open it once before, but I wasn't able to access everything that they were trying to tell me, all the new information. They said to like right click on something, and I wasn't able to get to the category of information they were trying to tell us.
Yeah, they're trying to tell us you can't access it at the moment, but you could actually
Oh
see
yeah,
local
okay,
disk.
yeah, later.
Yeah, this one's probably going to be in the future updates. Right now, you can see where all your memories going to, your videos, your system, apps and features, temporary files. This almost reminds me of the Android phone, what it's been using.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could actually see that on the Android phone. I think it's going to be a great feature in the future. Well, going on to the next thing is dark mode and history for Windows search. I know you love the dark mode because you made a video recently about dark mode. So what do you think about this option with the dark mode and history for the Windows search?
I think it's it's desperately needed because I have dark mode enabled on Windows right now, and as I go through the search bar, it's all white, right? So that defeats the whole purpose of dark mode because either you like it because of the aesthetics, or I use it because I want dark mode to be easy on the eyes late at night. I don't want all that white light bombarding me. I want it to be dark. Like I like dark mode on YouTube. I like it, I wanted to be able to not have my eyes bombarded by white.
Correct.
And it didn't make sense that they never had that. It's just kind of like I would consider it kind of like a bug that they didn't something they didn't it was like a blind spot.
Well, now they actually added it for you specifically. I guess they probably heard you cry out there in the thing is like, I need dark mode enabled for this. They heard you and they're like, let's do it for that guy. Click.
So I'll be the first to update my computer for that.
Okay, next we have a file skill for Cortana. What do you think about that?
I don't use Cortana, partly because again the whole biometrics thing, right? I didn't want to. I mean, I know my voice is out there on YouTube and Anchor and everywhere else, and everything. So they probably have enough sound bites that they can recreate my voice and just make it sound completely like me. I just don't like talking to an AI. I don't know. I don't like when I have to call up different companies, and I try to always get a person. I already deal with AI enough, so I don't embrace it on my computer. But you use Cortana all the time?
I use Cortana. It helps me find my files. It helps me do all my stuff for me whenever I need something.
You'll have to test out to see how accurate Cortana is to help you find something.
Well, it's helped me so many times, so it hasn't let me wrong. Yeah, it hasn't let me wrong yet. It helps me find all my applications, even browser stuff.
So this is just like an extension. So now they can do OneDrive for business and SharePoint. So two different apps.
I guess so. I guess that they're starting to embed more stuff into it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah, for those who like to do voice. Yeah,
and
it's
also
for, enterprise users.
Yeah, definitely. And to the next topic is improved graphic settings for multiple GPUs. I know you're very good on graphics cards, Joe. You like this a lot of the heavy stuff on this. So what do you think about this feature?
Gosh, like I don't know if this is more for people who do, um, if they use their GPUs for research, where I can't
Hmm.
remember what that's called at the moment, but
You like
where you have
beta testing or stuff?
no, more like where you have your computer doing calculations to like find the DNA structure of a virus or something.
Ah,
I'm
you're talking about
wondering,
those scientists.
yeah, I guess it was for this. It's maybe it's helping give more. Like you were saying previously, you could only do a high performance or power saving. Um, gosh, I don't know. Like I guess now you can do a higher priority or just a little bit more specific. So yeah, guys, you got to go into that to figure that out. But I use NVIDIA, so it's usually their control settings have a lot of different options. But now Microsoft is allowing you to do something on their end instead of having to go into maybe NVIDIA or AMD side.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Okay, we got like two more left, Joe. Architecture and the task manager. What do you think about this? Because now it's going to be able to tell us if it's a 64-bit or a 32-bit application. Do you think this is very helpful for the people?
I think it is always super helpful for someone. I'm not sure
I know,
who.
I know. For me, it does.
Okay, tell me.
It helps me to find troubleshoot more if it's a 32 application or a 64 because sometimes 32-bit applications do not work on 64 and vice versa. And we definitely know that a 64 does not work on a 32-bit.
So this is to help you figure out that you accidentally installed the wrong thing.
Correct.
Because you're like, why isn't this working? I installed it. I clicked the right thing on the website and it goes to the wrong place.
13 years of this, and I've seen 32-bit applications run on 64, and they don't work. You have to uninstall it and install the 64-bit, so it does help out to us if you understand the structure of it.
No, and this is like Johnny come lately. It's like, why wasn't this there long time ago when we went from
Yeah,
32-bit to 64-bit?
yeah, because 32 and 64 have been around for a long time, but they just now it because 64 was mainly for businesses and corporations, but now 64-bit became a standard for like everybody because you could install more than 4 gigs of RAM. Because when you have 32 was only maxed at 4 gigs. Now 64, you could do up to like 512 and up and beyond.
Yeah, I think the first time that I heard about 64-bit, I jumped at it. I'm like, yay! Why do I want to be at 32-bit? I always want a bigger number.
Yeah,
So it's
definitely,
nice. It's nice to know again the troubleshooting, like because you'll need this, right, guys? You'll need this because Microsoft's troubleshooter won't be much help to you. So now you have to use their other features to figure out what to uninstall or what to install.
definitely. And now going on to the next one is improved sound device settings. What do you think? Do you think this is a good helpful feature that is going to actually tell us what is our default device automatically? Like looking at this page, do you think this is going to be beneficial to everybody or only certain people?
It might be, but I got to tell you that you and I with dealing with our audio issues in the past, even though Microsoft says that one of these are my default devices, it doesn't actually use it as the default device. My sound will come through on some other device, and Microsoft is like behind the times. It doesn't. So if it's more accurate than what it currently is, I'm all for it. I'll be glad because otherwise, when I go into sound settings right now for Microsoft, if I go into the actual you go into Windows and you type in like S for settings and you go in there, it's not much help. I have to go down to the bottom where I right click on the microphone, and then I can go in there under sounds and then look into more details for playback and recording and mess around there for another like 20 minutes to figure out what's going on. But the actual like default in managed sound devices hasn't been much help to me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep. Definitely.
I'm not sure if you've ever had the part where it's like it doesn't add up.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna
hopefully it's better.
do a quick review at the bottom to the next sections. It's just this defrag enhancements, which is optimizes drive page gains on an advanced view checkbox that shows hidden volumes and more current statuses details that will tell you why you can't defrag specific drives. Now it gives you that option, Joe. You think that's gonna be good? It's gonna be able to tell you now why it can't defrag it.
Yeah, definitely. Because, yeah, I mean, more information, and I think it goes along similar lines of what where there's some files you can't delete. I hope it also is addressing stuff like that, where you're trying to delete something, you have to click like skip all, skip. Like when you try, you know what I'm saying? When you try
Yeah.
to like delete, and then it's like this file can't be deleted, and you have to skip it to delete as much as you can delete or whatever. Yeah, more
Yeah.
information will just help the public be able to deal with their devices more, and that's awesome.
This next one is going to be a pretty brief one. It's going to change refresh rate in settings. You can now change your display refresh rate in your settings interface rather than visiting the classic control panel. You think that's a very helpful deal, Joe?
Where do they do that?
It's under settings, system, display, and advanced display settings. Not sure
No,
if
is
this
this where
new
this is where it used to be?
or going to be.
Oh, okay, I know what you mean. Because like before, you had to click advanced display settings, and then you had to click display adapter properties for display, and then you had to go to monitor, and then then you click your screen refresh rate, and then you can switch it to whatever.
So yeah, this easier.
This is good for people who don't want to do all those steps. Yes,
And,
less steps better.
Next thing is they're getting rid of Microsoft Edge, and they're using the new Chromium based version automatically coming on Windows default because of all that issues that they've had with the Microsoft Edge. So do you think that's going to be a better idea, Joe?
I apologize. I was distracted. One of our viewers was talking about he has auto start for his VPN software. So yeah, that is the Windows startup. So yeah, makes sense. Refresh my memory
about the old Edge browser getting removed and replaced with the Chromium based version of Edge.
Interesting.
Remember we talked about this previously before about Chromium installed on the computer by default. We talked about this, I think, in one of our previous podcasts.
What was it? Why do they want to remove it? Because it's not secure, or it's just slow, or
one, it had so many issues with applications, and it was mainly just for reading text and stuff like that. Now they have using Chromium as a third-party app that's being integrated into Windows.
Well, I guess they created it so they can bring it back into the box they want. Maybe there's not that many people using it. I'd rather them just not like advertise it and let people still use it. So I'm wondering if it's just. I'm not wondering. Oh, maybe that is what it is. Okay, they've removed it. Basically, it might still be able to be used. Maybe. But then they're just not going to advertise it. They're not going to say, hey, they're not going to have it pre-installed on your computer.
Correct.
And so you have to like either find some legacy file somewhere, or the only ones that still have it can be using it for a while.
Well, the next
I'm hoping so, because somebody really might like that browser, and if they want to hold on to that browser a little longer, I don't see the problem with that.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go through the next quick topics real quick, Joe.
Sure.
Because we've already been here about an hour and 17 minutes. So we're gonna go
Sure.
real quick. It's update touch keyboard. Microsoft has tweaked the touch keyboard design with a new key press animation and sound. It's also getting built-in emoji search. We also have the cursor movement using the spacebar. The update touch keyboard will let you move the cursor with the spacebar. Touch the spacebar with your finger and slide your finger left, right, up, and down to move the text entry cursor around. We also have theme-aware app splash screen. For apps that support theme-aware splash screens, you'll know that now see a splash screen that matches your default app mode when you launch the app. So instead of seeing a blue splash screen, for example, you'll see a white or black splash screen behind the app's icon. You want to read the other ones, Joe?
Sure. A new initial setup experience. Microsoft is testing a new custom your device page in the initial PC setup experience. It will ask you what you plan on using your PC for, like options like gaming, Facebook, schoolwork, and business, and aid in customizing your device given your intended usage. Also, there is search for default apps and settings. The settings to apps to default apps screen now has a search box that makes it easier to search files, protocols, and apps. And also, they're pushing Edge in settings. Microsoft exploring a feature that nags you to make Edge your default browser in settings.
On the next ones, we have changes for the system administrators, which that's part where I mess with this area here. It is considered the ADMX backup policy for the micro device management, modern device management. I forgot about that. Sorry, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong ever. Modern device management, instead of group policies to manage their devices, Microsoft has enabled 647 new MDM policies across 56 ADMX administrative template files to enable commercial customers to configure policies that are also supported through group policies. Here's the list of the whatever it is, etc., etc., etc. Also, you could reset your AppX packages from PowerShell. You can now reset installed AppX packages from the PowerShell command line with the reset-apx AppX package. You could already reset an installed AppX package of UWP app data from settings app. But now you can also do it from the command line.
That's
also,
good.
you have the new management options for default file association. Microsoft now offers a new way for enterprises to modify file association using group policies.
So yeah, a lot of good updates, and again, we already talked about how Microsoft's making it so there's going to be a flashy screen, basically advertising like images of what they're doing to actually make their system better, which is awesome. And look forward to all these updates. It looks like they're going to do like basically 2 updates per year.
Correct. That's what it's been looking like. I did not know that, but now I do. So, do you have any?
Yeah, no, I just no. It's been pretty entertaining to go through all these features and figure out. Like I'm rediscovering what my computer can do, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely.